Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. It is Jackstown. So the NFL draft is tomorrow night, particularly this year. Being a Jags fan is going to be extra exciting because we do, of course, have the #1 pick in the draft. And I think it's pretty obvious who we're going to take. So there's not a lot of nerves, just pure excitement. And, you know, around this time of year, I see a lot of people on TV, a lot of analysts, people on ESPN, maybe Fox, CBS, whatever, all the sports channels and sports shows. They do their own mock draft. They try to predict what player is going to go to what team at each position. And you know what? I thought this could be fun. Why don't we make a video doing our own mock draft? Now, we're just going to do the first round because, you know, after that, it's going to take so long. And, you know, we all got lives here. And the first round is probably, well, it's not probably, it is the most exciting. And these are probably, in all likelihood, the most impactful players that go in the first round. So, you know what? Let's do it. But first order of business, just to let you guys know, I'm not Todd McShay. I'm not Mel Kiper. I don't know every single aspect of every one of these players' games. I don't know their upbringings. I don't know exactly certain tendencies or things. I don't know everything about each one of these players. I know a little bit, especially the top 10. I'll know a good amount. You know, I do watch some college football, but I'm not like a fanatic. I'm more of an NFL guy. So I'm just going to kind of give my opinion on who's going to go where based on two things mainly. The first thing is, of course, where I think each player will go, but also who I think would fit best with each team. So I think my mock draft is just going to be based on what player a combination of what player will go to each team based on who I think they'll pick and also who I think they should pick. So it's a combination of both. Of course, just my opinion, and I always invite your guys' opinions. Let me know in the comments below, of course. I love when you guys tell me your guys' opinions, so feel free to do that. I encourage that you do that. All right, guys, let's get started with our 2021 mock draft just for the first round because that should be the most exciting. Anyways, let's do it. Starting off with my Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, we have a lot of team needs. The Jaguars were really bad last year, 1-15, the worst record. That's, of course, why we have the first pick. But it is so unbelievably obvious to everyone who knows anything about football who they're going to take. It has been Trevor Lawrence for the longest time. Trevor Lawrence has been the #1 pick for the longest time. Trevor Lawrence has unofficially been a Jacksonville Jaguar for about 6 months, but tomorrow it will be official, and it's going to be great. All right. Moving on to the second pick, we have the New York Jets. Now, they also have a lot of team needs. Pretty much most of these top picks, except the 49ers, have a lot of team needs. But I think their best pick, and I think who's going to go second, in all likelihood, I think will be Zach Wilson. I think that it's a combination of, I think the Jets are going to take him, and it's pretty obvious that you start your franchise with a quarterback. They traded Sam Darnold to the Panthers. Zach Wilson's showtime. There's a little bit of risk because he played at BYU. Of course, he didn't play at like a Power 5 school, but he's showtime. He's got Manziel in him from what I'm hearing. Hopefully, college Manziel, not NFL Manziel. He's showtime. He can move. He's very mobile. He can throw the ball, make a lot of throws. He kind of has that New York feel. I think he belongs in New York, so I think that's who the Jets are going to go with. All right, third pick, 49ers. Now, this is one that, you know, this is a tough one because I feel like this is the one that's being talked about the most. The 49ers obviously traded up to get the third pick. It seems like they have everything or almost everything on their team except a quarterback. So it seems obvious that they're going to probably go for a quarterback. Now, I think I've heard things about Mac Jones and then, of course, Justin Fields and Trey Lance. And I think they're going to go with Mac Jones. I know it's kind of weird to trade up for Mac Jones because he doesn't seem like a top 5 pick or a player that would go ahead of anywhere other than the mid to late first round for most of the year. But, you know, he won the championship with Alabama. And of course, a lot of people might want to give a lot of credit to Devontae Smith, the receiver who won the Heisman. But I think Mac Jones has proven that if he's on a good team with good protection and he has time to throw in the pocket, he can be very, very good. And I think the Niners like that. I think that they're the perfect team for him to go to, so I think they will take him. Now we move on to the Falcons. Now this could get interesting because the Falcons, they do have a lot of team needs. Like, you know, I feel like a broken record. I feel like a lot of these teams have team needs, of course. But I think, you know, a lot of people are thinking how the Falcons should take a quarterback, but I don't think that's their biggest team need right now. I think they're more of they should take someone else because I think Matt Ryan, he still seems to have a couple more years left, and it's going to be tough to get rid of his contract now, and it doesn't seem worth it to take a quarterback for him to sit on the bench for like 2 to 3 years. You know, every year you can take a first-round quarterback and just start him right off the bat. I think it would be in their best interest to go with Kyle Pitts. I think he might be the top tight end prospect, or I think maybe the highest drafted tight end or one of the most hyped tight ends ever. So I think he would add so much to that offense to complement Julio Jones, and Matt Ryan would have another weapon. I think that's the best case scenario. You kind of have to take the best player available, and that's who I think the Falcons will take. Now we move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, it looked like for most of the year that, or at least after Joe Burrow tore his ACL, that they definitely needed offensive line help, and it looked like for most of the year they were going to take Penei Sewell, and but as the year went on, because Penei Sewell opted out for Oregon, he didn't play this past year. I heard a lot of hype about Rashawn Slater. They could take either one. I'm very confident they'll take a lineman, but it seems like Sewell, it really could be either, but I think it says Sewell's the top, he's higher ranked, so I will go with Sewell, but they could take Slater. Both of them would be the right pick to take, or both of them would be good picks. They need offensive line help, especially a left tackle or any tackle, like when you help on the edge, okay? So that would be in their best interest, and I think they're going to take one of those two. All right, now we move on to the Dolphins. All right, this is tough because some people think that the Dolphins should take a quarterback because Tua doesn't, we don't know if he has what it takes to be a franchise quarterback. I would give Tua one more year. I wouldn't just give up on him after 1 year. He was so hyped, and he had such a great college career, of course, until he got hurt. I think it's worth giving him another year and seeing what he really has in him, what he's really capable of in a full season. And so I think for that reason, the Dolphins should take the best player available, and they don't have Devontae Parker is a very good receiver, but I don't know if he's a number one. I think taking Jamar Chase would be the best thing the Dolphins can do. They could really use him on their team as like a second or really the first weapon, but adding to that offense, helping Tua out, I think that's the best thing they can do this year. All right, now we move on to the Lions. They are, all right, they look like a team that is probably going to need a quarterback because I don't know if Jared Goff has what it takes, but I don't think they're going to take a quarterback this year because I think they still have hope for Jared Goff. They want to see what he has in store for at least 1 year. So, this is tough. They could really use help defensively. So for that reason, I think, well, they could also use a wide receiver. You know what? I think they should take Jalen Waddle. They could use another receiver. I think they're going to lose. Did they already lose? See, it's not football season. I'm pretty sure they're losing Kenny Golladay. I think if he's not already gone, I don't think he's coming back. Marvin Jones signed with my Jags, so they lost all their receivers, or they don't really have a main weapon, so they could use a big-time receiver. Jalen Waddle, I think, is their best pick at this point in this year's draft with their 7th pick. I think that's who they should take. Moving on to the Panthers. Now, I'm surprised what the Panthers did. They got Sam Darnold via a trade with the Jets. I don't know if he's their franchise guy, but they want to give him a shot, so they're clearly not going to be taking a quarterback in the first round. So Trey Lance is a no, Justin Fields is a no. Now, they could use line help, and I think they're going to probably go with the best player available. They did improve that defense, and so I think for them, the best pick is probably Rashawn Slater. If Rashawn Slater goes to the Bengals, I think they will get Sewell. They'll get the remaining offensive tackle that wasn't taken by the Bengals in all likelihood. So that moves us to the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos, they really should take a quarterback. They haven't had a good quarterback since Peyton Manning. The reason why they've missed the playoffs the last 5 years, I think, is because of subpar quarterback play. Now, if they get if Trey Lance or Justin Fields falls to the Broncos, they should absolutely take either of them if either of them are available. So I think right now Trey Lance is higher ranked, and he is higher ranked here, but I think a lot of people are higher on Trey Lance just because of the upside. We still don't know. There's a lot of mystery, but I think the Broncos should take the risk. They need a big-time quarterback, or they need to try to get a franchise quarterback, and it's clear that Drew Lock is not that guy. They should take Trey Lance, and I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what they should do, so I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think they're going to take Trey Lance. That moves us to the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Now, they have a great offense when everyone's healthy. Dak Prescott, Zeke, even though he's had a down couple of years, but he's still a very good running back, definitely above average, very solid running back. They have, of course, Dak Prescott, great receiving core, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and of course CeeDee Lamb. So they don't need any offensive help. The thing they need the most is defense. So I think it's the obvious pick. They should take the best available defensive player. And I just want to make sure real quick, it's really I think for them, going to come down to Patrick Surtain or Micah Parsons, and I think they're going to end up going with Patrick Surtain. That secondary really struggled. They could not stop anyone one on defense, especially their pass defense was awful. So I think they're going to go with Patrick Surtain, who's the best corner available, I think, in this draft, the best prospect. So that moves us to the New York Football Giants, another very popular team. Looks like we're going to have 3 straight NFC East picks. Now, the Giants, Daniel Jones, I don't know. We don't know if he's the guy or not, but they're going to give him another chance. They're probably not going to take a quarterback. They're not looking for that right now. I think, they have a lot of needs, of course. I think for them, they're going to be looking for probably the best. This is tough. Okay, this is tough. They could either go with Michael. They're probably going to go defense here. They're either going to go, or they could go wide receiver. You know what? This is tough, but they could go Devontae Smith. I could see that happening. And again, I'm not like an expert on this. I'm not Todd McShay or Mel Kiper. So I think they're just going to go with the best player available. A combination of that and who they need. I think Micah Parsons is very dynamic. I think the Giants will take him. I think he's probably the best player available for them, either him or J.C. Horn. They're probably going to go defense. If they don't, they might go Devontae Smith, but who knows where he'll go. He's kind of fallen down draft boards because people aren't really excited about how skinny he is, I guess. But, that doesn't really matter. If he can run routes, make catches. He won the Heisman. Who cares if he's anorexic, So they could take him, but who knows? I think they're probably going to focus mainly on that defense. And Devontae Smith deserves to go to a team with a little bit better of a thrower than Daniel Jones. No offense to him, but anyways. All right, that moves us to the Eagles. Now the Eagles, they could take a quarterback. They could take Fields, but it looks like they might give Jalen Hurts another chance. I think he deserves it. Jalen Hurts was very impressive last year for a rookie. So they could go, I don't think they're going to go with a quarterback. They could use offensive line help. They could use corner. They have a lot of team needs. I think they're going to go. I think they're going to go with J.C. Horn. I think he's the best defender available at this point of my mock draft. So I think they're going to go with him. They're probably going to draft defense. That defense wasn't very good, especially that secondary wasn't good. Up front, they're way better with Fletcher Cox, but they're not as nearly as good in the secondary. So I think that's what they're going to go with. All right. This is, okay, Chargers, they found a gem in Justin Herbert. A lot of people weren't high on him for how high he went last year, 7th, but he is phenomenal. I think he's already a superstar. Won Rookie of the Year easily. Probably had the greatest rookie quarterback season. So I think they're going to get him help, even though their defense, their defense is fine. I think, okay, this is where it gets a little interesting. I think it would be in their best interest. Maybe they should go Devontae Smith, but they do have Keenan Allen, but could they use a second receiver? You know what? I think they believe so much in Justin Herbert. Here's where the surprise is. I think they're going to take Devontae Smith. I could be 100% wrong. I probably will be wrong, but in my mock draft, I think it makes sense for them to get a second receiver to complement Justin Herbert. He's such a star. I mean, he's a franchise quarterback. He's going to be there for so long. I think it's in their best interest to take a second great receiver, really bolster that offense even more. So I think that's the best pick for them. Minnesota Vikings, they're going to give Kirk Cousins another chance. They've already said he's coming back. So they could use... they could use an edge rusher. They can use an offensive tackle. It's really up to them. I don't know too much at this. Now it's getting to where, I don't know so much about the prospects. But, they already ran the ball very well with Dalvin Cook, so their line is already pretty good. They could use an offensive tackle to protect Kirk Cousins, but that's not really a problem for them. Their defense struggled a lot more than it normally does. They're far removed from that team a couple years ago that was the best defense in the league. So you know what? They should take an edge rusher, and the best available is Jalen Phillips, so I think they're going to take Jalen Phillips. All right, that brings us to the Patriots, and this is where Bill Belichick pulls off a gem. They're going to take Justin Fields. If he falls to them, I don't think he will. I don't know. In my mock draft, he does, but Justin Fields falling to 15. If the Patriots can get Justin Fields at 15, that would be amazing for them. He definitely has what it takes to be a franchise quarterback. Some people think he's raw and stuff, but Bill Belichick under that system, he'll be great. So if he falls to them, Patriots fans would be so happy. And I think in my mock draft, that's where I have him falling. So that would be a great pick for the Pats. All right, now the Cardinals. They could use defense. They could use, their offense is very good already. So I don't know. I think they're probably going to go defense here, or they could go receiver. Let's see. Who is a really good guy for them? Who is the best guy for them to take? All right. They could. I think they're going to take Elijah Vera Tucker right here. They could use a linebacker. They could use some defense presence. The Isaiah Simmons. I don't know, but he didn't look good last year, so they might need some more help. Take a linebacker out inside line. Was it inside and outside linebacker? Yeah, he's both. So Vera Tucker's I think best pick for the Cardinals, which moves us to the Raiders. I think the Raiders, what do they need? They could if Justin Fields fell to them, they should consider but I don't think he's going to fall further than 15. They could use help up front. They did not. Josh Jacobs, he's good. You can see the talent, but I think he looked. Okay, I think he's better than how he looked last year. I think he's very talented, but he was getting like less than 4 yards per carry, so they should help with that line. They should take Christian Darrisaw. I think they could use help with that line, that running game. They have the talent in the running game, but I think in terms of yards per carry and efficiency running the ball, they didn't do it well, so they could use help up front on their offensive line. So I think that's the best pick for them. Now the Dolphins, they have another first-round pick. They just make great trades, apparently, because I think the Texans got screwed. I think this is actually where they're drafting. Okay, this is their actual pick that they kept. The reason why they have that, I think it was the 6th pick, was because they screwed the Texans over, and they traded Laramie Tunsil, and they got that first-round pick, and they ended up being better than the Texans last year anyways, so they really won that trade, I think. So the second thing they could use... Okay, they could use an edge rusher. Now, I remember Gregory Rosso was really high, but he's kind of, was he still here? Has he slipped down, or did I already? No, I don't know. Anyways, but here it looks like they're going to take an edge rusher, I think. So Kwity Paye, I've been hearing a lot of good things. He's moved up draft boards, so I think he's good for them at that pick. Washington football team at 19. They could use a quarterback, but they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I think we're done with quarterbacks in the first round. So they could use some defensive help. They could use some line help. They could use another receiver. But I think there's a lot they could go with here. I think they're just going to go with they're going to get some linebacker help. They're going to get Jamin Davis. I think that's how you say it. Jamin Davis, probably. But at this point, like I know these players, but I don't know everything about these players. I just kind of go with like who they need and who I think would make sense. Bears, they could use some offensive help. They could use some quarterback help. So let's see who's available for them, or who's. I think they should prioritize offense if they're going to do anything. You know what? They could go wide receiver. They could go Elijah Moore. They can go Tevin Jenkins. They go Alex. You know what? Go Alex Leatherwood. Get some offensive line help. That run game was bad. Well, David Montgomery was really good in the end. Their second half of the year, but overall the run game wasn't great. And then they got Nick Foles. I think it's because he's immobile and Mitchell Trubisky, but they were getting sacked a lot. They could use help on that offensive line. So I think that's the pick for them. Colts at 21. There's a lot of things they could do. I think they need a corner. I think so. They could go Greg Newsome. I'm just going to look through real quick. I think their offensive line is fantastic. They could use an offensive tackle, but that run game is fantastic. They shouldn't prioritize that. I think, they have almost everything. I don't know. They have Carson Wentz now. They could, they should just go with a corner. Go with Greg Newsome the second. I think the secondary is really their only. I don't even think it's a weakness. They're pretty good all around. But if they were to take someone, I think that's who it would be. Which moves us to the Titans. They could use a wide receiver. I think they're going to lose Corey Davis, but they do have A.J. Brown. He's really good. They could use a corner. They could use safety, tight end. Okay. I think they could. They could use. Yeah. All right. You know what? I think they're going to take Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. I think he's really good. They could use a second receiver, another person to help Ryan Tannehill in that passing game, which moves us to the Jets at 23. Now they could use a running back, but they are. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Let me think about this real quick. Could the Jets take a running back early? Could they take Najee Harris earlier than he's expected to go? Because I'm looking at the Steelers. I think either the Steelers or the Jets here at 23, 24. I would not be surprised if either of them reached and got Najee Harris. I think he's the best running back in this draft. And running backs matter. I know they don't go a lot of them don't go in the first round. But you know what? I think it would be in the Jets' best interest to take him. He was fantastic, and I think he's going to be a star. And Frank Gore with, I don't know, who else do they have? Ty Johnson and who was it? LaMichael Pirine. Ew. They really need a running back after court. That offense it was just so stagnant and gross last year. Get Zach Wilson, then get Najee Harris, and New York is very exciting again. All right, Steelers, they could also use a running back if the Jets don't take, well, we don't know about James Conner if he's healthy, but he didn't look too good last year. They could use some line help as well if they don't get a running back. So I think they should take Tevin Jenkins. Big Ben got sacked a lot. They didn't run the ball well at all last year, so they could use him. My Jags, 25th pick. We have a second first-round pick. Let's see. After quarterback, wide receivers, DJ Chark and Shenault are pretty good. I think for now we're good there. We do need offensive line help, I think, after and running. We don't need a running back. I don't know why it says team. James Robinson, come on, that guy was fantastic. All right, who's the best lineman available? Offensive lineman. Ooh, it doesn't look like there's one for a while. Okay, then you know what? Oh, sorry about that. It looks like they could use an edge rusher. My Jags could use an edge rusher. So they can go Christian Barmore or they can go Azeez Ojulari. I think what was worse, the run? Yeah, the run. Yeah, they didn't get a lot of sacks last year, so I think Azeez is the better pick. I think they didn't put like any pressure on quarterbacks last year. I think if they weren't last in sacks, they were pretty low ranked in sacks. I felt like they never pressured the quarterback, so they could use an edge rusher. I think that's a good pick for them, or to complement Josh Allen. I don't think they have a second edge rusher, so that would be a really good duo. Which moves us to the Cleveland Browns, who have the 26th pick. Great year for the Browns, finally made the playoffs, but let's see. They have, if Odell comes back healthy, if he comes back healthy, and him and Jarvis Landry, that's pretty good receiver duo. Baker Mayfield, they're giving him another chance. He's pretty good, I think. So let's see. They could use a defensive lineman. And Christian Barmore seems to be the guy they could use. Yeah, that run defense wasn't too good last year, so that would be good for them. Ravens at 27, they could use an edge. They could use an offensive tackle. All right, let's see what's available for them. Okay, there's not really many offensive tackles available right now or at this point in the draft or coming up anytime soon. I think they can go with an edge. They can go Joe Tryon. Okay, that's good. I don't know too much about these prospects at this point, but I'm just going with the best available for them. Saints, they could use a corner. That secondary was bad last year. You saw Tom Brady shred them, or at least towards the end of the year, they were not good, giving up a lot of points. Tom Brady shredded them up in the playoffs. So I think, you know what? If they can get Caleb Farley was once like a top 10, 15 pick. After Surtain, him and Surtain, I think at the beginning of the year were like the two best corners. Him, Surtain, and J.C. Horn. So if they can get Caleb Farley that at 28, that would be great for them. That's a great late first-round pick for them, and I think that's definitely what they need. Now the Packers, they need wide receiver help. Get Aaron Rodgers a first-round is it called skill player? Yeah, when it's like a wide receiver, skill position player, wide receiver, running back, or tight end, or quarterback after Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they've taken a single one of those in the first round. It's about time they do. And you know what? Getting Rashad Bateman at 29 is a steal. I just want to make sure that there's no one that I'm missing. They could, they brought back Aaron Jones. This is the obvious pick. Take Rashad Bateman. He's being ranked a little low. I think he has a lot of potential. He didn't play. I don't know if he opted out this year or just or was limited in how he played, but or the amount of games he played. But I've heard great things, and I think he's going to be a very good football player. They could use a second receiver. Look, hang on, what was his name? I'm sorry, Alan Lazard. Jeez, I'm sorry. It's been like 3 months from football season. He's pretty good, but he's not a second receiver. Second receiver is like potentially a star as well. Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. He deserves more than just. Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. He deserves a little bit more than Devontae Adams and Robert Tonyan to throw to. Like, Tunyan's pretty good, but getting a second receiver, get him help. The more help he gets on offense, the better. He's awesome. He deserves a second receiver. All right, 30. The Bills, they could use a running back, but the Zach Moss, they could give him another chance. The Zach Moss experiment, I don't think is over. Singletary's pretty good. I don't think they need a running back. Josh Allen's like the running back, okay? So they could use defensive help. They could use an edge. They could use a corner. I think that's where they should go. That offense is terrific. Is there an edge? Is there... Let's see. I think, you know what? They could use a corner. That secondary was not good. Take Eric Stokes. He's the best one available from Georgia, which moves us to the Ravens. 31st pick, second to last in the first round. If they don't, I don't know if, Ronnie Stanley is coming back from injury. I think he should be healthy. They could definitely use a wide receiver as well. I just want to see who's available. You know what? They should take Kadarius Toney. I think they need more weapons for Lamar Jackson. I don't know how good of a passer. We still need, Lamar Jackson's still getting better. He's still only like 25. Yeah, 25 or 25, I think. Yeah, they should just try to get him more help. Hollywood and who was the Mark Andrews, they could use a second wide receiver. The more help you get them, the better. I think at this point they have a lot of things, and wide receiver is one of the things they probably most dearly need to improve on. So I think that's who they should go with. And the final pick of the first round goes to the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the GOAT, Tom Brady. And let's see, they do not need a wide receiver. I don't know why it says that. They have their whole team coming back: Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and of course, Antonio Brown. I don't know why they would take a wide receiver. I don't know why that's a team need. They could use an edge rusher. Well, they're great at everything. Well, they're not great at everything, but, they could use an edge. Why not? Sure. Let's see who's available at the edge. Then they could use a linebacker too. Could they? Or, yeah, they could. You know what? Just take the best one available. They don't really need much. They're the champs. They're bringing back their whole team. But take Zaven Collins from Tulsa. Why not? I mean, they were... At that point, just take the best player available. They don't really need much, and, he seems to be a very good player. So, all right, this is our mock draft, guys. Really fast recap. Trevor Lawrence, number 1 to the Jags. Zach Wilson to the Jets. Mac Jones to the Niners. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to read every single name. I'm just going to go scroll through it. You guys get it. I think I'm going to go slowly. You guys can pause it. Do whatever you want. But yeah, that's our mock draft. I think it looks pretty good, guys. I think this has a potential to be like 10% accurate, so we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty happy with this mock draft. I think every team made a pick that makes sense for them. And again, I'm not Mel Kiper. I'm not Todd McShay. I'm not an expert who knows all these players. Like, past 15, it's like, I don't know so much about these guys, but I know enough to, at least I know about these teams and what they might need. So yeah, that's our mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know, again, your opinions on your own mock draft in the comments, who you think should go where I'm wrong, where I'm right, whatever you think about my picks. It's up to you. Let me know. I love your opinions. And guys, consider liking if you enjoyed the video, subscribing, of course, if you're a big sports fan. And real quick announcement, because tomorrow night's the NFL draft, and as a Jags fan, there's big reason for excitement. I will be live streaming the NFL draft. I think, I don't know, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes before it starts, I'll be streaming. You guys can see my reaction as a Jags fan, of course. I know it's pretty obvious we're going to take Trevor Lawrence, but you can see my excitement live if you guys want to join me for that. Just a few minutes before the NFL draft, hop onto Jackstown, the YouTube channel, which is what you're watching this on, of course. And I will be live streaming if you guys want to join me. That'll be fun, I'm sure. All right, guys, thanks again so much for watching. That's going to do it for today, and you guys have yourselves a great day.